Thanks for joining us. My name is Jensen, and I'm here with Shyam, and we're going to talk about the challenges that Peloton faced during the pandemic and how Atlassian, Jira Service Management, and Halp help overcome those challenges. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Jensen Fleming. I'm a product manager at Halp, a part of Atlassian, and Shyam is the IT solutions manager at Peloton. So to get started, I'm going to let Shyam introduce himself and a little bit about his role, and we'll get started from there.
Thanks, Jensen. Hello, everyone. Shyam Bhojwani. I currently work for Peloton. I work as an IT solutions design manager. Me and my team, we manage the Atlassian ecosystem. We are responsible for the IT service management, integrations, workflows. Our mission statement is to make our employees productive by providing them the best-in-class collaboration systems. Me and my team, we are also responsible for Jira Analytics.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. And for a little bit of context on Shyam and my relationship, we've been working together for about 2 years between Halp and Peloton. So we have a lot of shared stories on sort of how we've fixed and solved a lot of the problems there. So excited to sort of talk through those and some of the ways that we can potentially help some other companies. Cool. So let's sort of get started here with a little bit about how the pandemic affected your guys' team and what you guys did to sort of resolve that and help be more productive.
Absolutely. So pandemic was a blessing in disguise for our business. We had tremendous growth, but of course, with tremendous growth, we also hired a lot of employees remotely. So that's that. And we also were asking our employees to work remotely. Earlier, employees could go up to our IT service desk, ask for quick help. In-person touch was different, right? Everyone can ask questions, get the quick help. But remote definitely came with a lot of challenges for us with like onboarding, offboarding, like help from a service request standpoint, access request standpoint. So it definitely put a lot of burden on the IT team, especially help desk. I would say not just IT, but also our people systems team, financial systems team. So it came with its own challenges.
Yeah. Before, when you guys switched to be mostly remote, now that people couldn't find people in person, how were most people creating tickets? Were they doing it via like DMs or were they pretty good about going to the portal?
It was a mix. People were asking questions via our IT Slack channel, but most of the tickets were created via our Jira Help Desk portal.
Got it. Okay. And so most of that was happening there. Makes sense. I know that you guys were already using JSM prior to the pandemic, but that kind of accelerated your usage of both JSM as well as Halp. And I know, gosh, when we started working together 2 years ago, it was only maybe 10 agents working out of Halp and throughout Slack connecting with Jira Service Management. How did that sort of change as you guys migrated to a more remote workforce and providing support that way?
Absolutely. I'll answer this question with like a background story. So our main motive of getting Halp was we are a Slack shop, right? Everyone loves Slack here. And it was getting cumbersome for our employees to go to the portal, fill out a long form and get the right help, right? And the other thing is our help desk portal is not just IT. We have financial systems, people systems, business systems. We have, I think if I remember correctly, before the pandemic, we had around 6 portal and people had to do like a lot of search to get to the right form and get the right help. So the idea of Halp was to provide an interface, like one single entry point for our employees so that they don't have to search so many forms, go at 10 different screens. All they do is just go to Slack and ask the right question. So the idea was we'll start with IT. Our IT Slack channel is super popular. People ask like random questions. What's the Wi-Fi password? How can I get to this system? How do I get into the office, right? So our IT channel is definitely busy. So the expectation was we'll give the same experience, let people ask the question through IT. So yeah, that's what kind of made us look into Halp, and it was a perfect solution for our business case.
Makes sense. Yeah. Have you found that sort of the satisfaction rating of requesters and help seekers has gone up because they're getting faster responses, or what has sort of the experience been in that sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, XLA is a new thing, right? Experience level agreement. It's a new buzzword. A lot of companies are talking about it. So from like an experience level agreement, our CSAT score has gone up, right? Like we've been getting 5 stars. The number of follow-up comments, follow-up tickets has gone down, right? So that has definitely reduced the ticket volume. And the best part is people are getting immediate help, right? Because there is no context switching here. You are on Slack, you're getting all your questions answered via Slack. And our IT agents, they are also operating via Slack. So the best part is earlier, if a ticket was taking, let's say, 24 hours from a resolution standpoint. Now with Halp, the resolution has gone down to, I would say, like a couple of hours, right? And our employee base is loving it.
Amazing. That's great to hear. And so like what percentage of tickets do you think are created via Slack rather than the portal itself?
I'm going to give some background story here. So we have two different instances of Jira. We have our Jira data center and we have our Jira cloud instance. So IT, people systems, financial systems, all the ticketing side sits on the data center. And we have our cloud instance mainly being used by our security, product, marketing teams, right? So if I do a split when it comes to the data center instance, I would say 20% of our tickets are created via Slack and Halp. And when I think about the engineering org, I would say at least 85% of the tickets are being created via Slack.
Wow.
And Halp, yep.
Makes sense. Awesome. And then you said primarily your agents are working from Slack, not from Jira itself?
Yes, exactly. Like especially the IT folks, because Halp gives you this interface of closing the ticket from Slack itself directly, right? So the thing is, they don't have to do a lot of context switching. You are in a thread, you are asking the right questions, answering the right, giving the right solution to the customer, right? So our agents are mainly operating via Slack.
Amazing. That's great. I know that having the actual functionality of being an agent in Slack makes it so easy to also be on mobile too, right? So if you're not at your desk and it's a lot simpler to use Slack's mobile device and answer tickets that way. So that's great. I know I personally do it that way. So that kind of goes into, I think, our next slide, which is sort of about the seamless customer experience, right? So we talked a lot about CSAT, satisfaction, all of the new buzzwords around that. Have you seen sort of a growth of new teams adopting and what is the speed of what, if you have this rolling out to 5 or 6 teams, how many requests are you getting in order to roll this out?
Sure. So we adopted Halp in 2019, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So it was IT. After IT, it was our other ticketing teams, right? Financial systems, business system. So that was a huge hit, right? Everyone loved the functionality. So I would say as of now, we are almost at 400 agents, right? That's a big number. I would say the motivating part here is our product team, security team. They have a window now where people can ask questions, get immediate help, right? So that's been like well received because earlier, if I am an engineer, if I need access to GitHub or AWS or any system, I would have to ask 10 different people that, hey, how do I open up a ticket with this team, right? But now all they do is on Slack, just look for Halp SRE, right? That's an entry door. They ask a question and they get the right help. So for us, the success is we are saving a lot of developer time, right? When I think about the engineering org, like even if you're able to save 10 to 30 minutes from a developer's day-to-day job, that's a huge saving for us, right? So that's how we measure our developer productivity has gone up. Customer experience has become amazing, right? Like I said, one central entry point. People are not spending time looking at systems, asking questions on different channels, right? And of course, before there were 10 questions being asked on a ticket, but now with this one-on-one interaction via the Slack thread, the comments has gone down, right? So it's definitely helping our CSAT resolution. Our XLA has definitely become better. And the other thing is my team also does analytics, right? So we have done a comparison before Halp, after Halp, like what's been the performance. I would say the feel good factor has gone up by 100%, right? Like that's a huge win for us.
So I know you had mentioned a few minutes ago the difference of splitting between your server, your data center, your cloud instances, and sort of the difference of asking for customer experience. I know as with Halp, one of the unifying things is connecting all of those systems into one request area, right? And the benefit is, okay, as a help seeker, I can just go into Slack, click a button, and I don't have to know the backend system that someone's using. Have you found that to be one of the main benefits, and how has it sort of affected your migration to the cloud?
I would say that's like a biggest advantage, right? Me being a customer, I don't care which portal or which project I'm connecting to, right? All I'm doing is I'm going to this central Slack channel and getting quick help. And the thing is, like I said, our Jira instance is huge, right? Like we have, I don't want to get into the exact numbers, but we have a lot of projects on the cloud instance. So yes, as a customer, I don't care which project I'm interacting, right? I'm getting quick help. So I would say that's definitely a huge advantage for us. And the thing is not just Jira, Halp also connects with Zendesk, right? So Zendesk for us is our customer facing ticketing system. And the Halp integration with Zendesk has definitely benefited our member support team, right? It's still work in progress, but it's well received. So I would definitely say the cross connectivity of HAL between data centers, Zendesk, cloud instance is definitely a motivational factor for us.
Awesome. I think that's a really good caveat to some of the news I wanted to share today. In April, we are launching JSM chat and conversational ticketing directly to paid JSM cloud plans. So this will be an experience that is included in your subscription as a feature of JSM. So what it means is we're simplifying the experience of Halp and chat and putting that into the feature set of JSM. So all of your project admins will be able to connect this directly without having to go through y'all at IT as a gatekeeper. So I'm not sure if that sort of makes sense. What do you see as the values there on opening up access to conversational ticketing to all teams?
I think me being part of IT, a lot of teams were trying to make changes, updates to their project setup. We are basically the gatekeepers, right? So I think that this is going to give them the control to customize, try it out, do the POC themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And it reduces the burden from us. So I think this is definitely a positive step, right? The more empowered or more better experience we provide to our employees, that's going to help them from a productivity standpoint. So definitely a positive step.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's something that's been in works for a while and had a lot of things that had to happen on the back end, including a simplified integration. So I know that we've talked about this on some of our calls, but we've simplified the entire integration experience with all Jira platform, all Jira products. So whether that be data center or server or cloud or software, workplace management, all of that has this new simplified integration. So as you know, being an early adopter of Halp, it hasn't always been the fastest process to connect this. And it has been usually dependent on one or two people at a company to set it up for everybody. So with that, it would take 10 to 15 minutes a project to set up Halp in chat, in Slack, and Teams. This process has now gone down to about 15 seconds per project, wow. Which I think is a huge win in terms of making it more accessible. And we're opening it up to project admins rather than that, main installing Slack app admin. So it should open up a lot of possibilities for tools to feel a benefit from this. And the beauty is it is a feature now of JSM itself. And so it should be much more accessible, much more available to teams. And the goal is to improve, the experience of all help seekers and agents across all of Jira products.
Amazing.
Yeah, it should be fun. We're really proud of the work that we've done on it and excited to get it into everybody's hands. So that being said, it's been really, really great chatting with you today. As always, I love talking to you. So glad to share your experiences and everything that you've learned over the last 2 years going through the pandemic and working at Peloton.
Likewise. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks. And for everybody listening, if you'd like to learn more, you can go to Atlassian.com/JSM chat, and you can find any questions there, sign up for access and learn a little bit more. But as always, thanks again. And I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.